What up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. And this time we bring back our special guest, Megan, again, who's with us last time. But we're going to be doing part 2 of our comic session. So say what's up to the people, Megan.
Hello, hello.
And then also, Megan's got a cool shirt on that I think we should show all you guys. So, Megan, now is your time. Yes. Wait, to the other side. Yes, we got the Aletha shirt. Yes.
It's
love
dope.
it. Awesome. Thank you for representing Megan. Let me see. Mark is on. Good morning. My power just went out. Ultimate tech issues. Yes. All the times you made fun of me for my tech issues. I'm sorry, bro. That sucks, but I understand. Manette says, I'm back. May not stay for the whole thing. I'm still really tired. Turned out I had COVID. Lucky to have very mild symptoms, so doing a lot better. I am sorry that you're not feeling well. I am in a similar boat. Not that I have COVID, but I'm not feeling super well. But that's all right. We're going to still fight through with this. We're going to play some music real quick, and then we're going to get started on our stream. So, Megan, do you want to run people through what we did last time, just as a quick overview?
Alrighty, so last time we got to see the script page for the first time, and we worked on a couple of basic block-in things with comics, such as how to translate scripts into panels that have a clear panel-to-panel read so that the audience doesn't get lost. You can see also we're figuring out how many lines of scripts turn into pages, which is really important for the pacing of the story, but also your sanity, how much trouble you're getting yourself into. So we have Jayvn jumping off of a roof and then bouncing up, going around, putting the lights on the pillar, and then landing. And that little sequence sounds simple when I say it, but it took us 2 hours to kind of figure out. This week we're going into the next page, and we're thinking that we can show you the second page of the script. We'll see how far we get. This is dialogue, so it's usually quite a lot simpler.
Yeah. Cool.
We will go a little faster today and get to see sort of different stuff, like focusing on character acting and angles and stuff like that I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so this is one of those things. I remember talking to Megan earlier this week. I was like, hey, should we just continue on, or should we go to like another action scene? And she's like, but the emotional dialogue scenes are fun. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, because I like drawing faces too, so why not? Let me just check the comments real quick. Helen Wang is in here. Helen Wang is here. Hello. Thank you for coming on. Amara says, hi, everyone. I started a hand lettering project to improve. I'm not sure what to improve, but that's awesome. Good for you. Mark says, you laugh, Jordan, but I can always go back to bed. Don't go back to bed, please. I need the watch hours, please, bro. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was a hostile takeover in my live stream. This is insane. One of my coworkers had been exposed to COVID and started showing symptoms, but didn't take any precautions. So she, myself, and I think 3 other coworkers all got it. Sounds like how I got COVID the first time. You guys look blurry, by the way. Okay, is that the same for everyone else? Do we look blurry, or is it just on Amaris's end? Because if it's on our end, I don't know what to do to fix it. But Vanilla is like, just turn up the pixel count or whatever. But anyway, what we're gonna do for this is actually like our sketch page that we did everything on, and we've done some work and reorganize it so that you can see like what the official page layout looks like to not be distracted by it. And we're just going to continue working on this. So what section are we at right now? We are at this line, I think, right?
Yes.
Right and here and down.
The box I made last week is my estimate of how long page 3 would be, but I would like for it to be to fit more. So if we can go further, that's fantastic. I think last week we talked about how I like to end each page as if it's a sentence and have something to kind of tease the audience and make them want to turn the page.
Okay, cool. We got a special guest in the house.
Hi, Dad.
Had to do it. Thank you for coming on, Chris. Much appreciated. Definitely says you look clear to me. Okay, good. So Mars, maybe just refresh your page and hopefully the blurriness will go away. So, all right. So let's see. First line, Jayvn takes off his headphones and turns around to see Aasim in a white robe along with 2 guards. So I kind of drew a version of that here on the left last time, but that was just the first pass. There might be another way to make it work. You can get shot with, I don't know. Any ideas for that? It seems pretty simple. Then again, all art seems simple to you. So, you know. Let's see. So he's taking off his headphones. What was the shot that we had?
I don't think you erased it, so. But I
Did I
like the
erase
way
it?
that you kind of had him bent a little. So
Oh.
the body language of like he's getting up, or did you not mean that particular panel?
Are you talking about the one we did? Where is it? Talking about this shot here on page.
No, you did like a quick sketch before the stream.
Oh, I'll redo it then. I will redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah. The sketch I did was Jayvn bent over, but Megan made a good point in my sketch that which you guys did not get a chance to see because I was premature and I erased it. But basically, he was kind of just getting up, and the issue with it was that the pillar wasn't shown, which is a big part of the storyline. But let's see.
It's a big part of the location continuity.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that freaking Control T. Just never works. That and Enter, those things are just so annoying to me.
I know.
Pillar here, and then uno, dos, and tres. 3 guys over here. But somehow I wanted to show Jayvn taking out his headphones. Actually, maybe it's just better if I drew the pose out.
I'm doing potential too. It's like war of the poses. Let everybody vote.
Pretty much. You know, I found that so far on the last stream, it was easier for me to just draw poses that I saw instead of panels. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I noticed that was a habit I have. It's just like I just picture things a certain way.
I feel the same way when I'm going through a script and stuff. I'll draw character moments that I like and then frame the rest of the page around it. It's not hard to say, okay, well, here's the character. Put him on the third, put in a foreground, midground, background. Okay, we're good. Make sure you have some space for your bubbles, right?
I think I might need a actual photo reference for this one. I don't think I've ever like studied a guy taking off his headphones. I'm gonna look up a picture online.
You find that a lot with comics. I'm working on a little short one, and it has like a ballroom, and so I'm like, okay, so I just need to draw everybody doing the waltz in like a circle from all these different angles. It's like, help!
You never know what you need, huh? I guess that's the exciting thing about art or filmmaking or comics. There's so many things you just can never really picture yourself needing to know. And no, none of these drawings are going to look pretty, guys. We can draw much better than this, but we're just not going to show you today. That's just how these are.
It's the nature of thumbnails.
Yeah.
But also this program is a little bit like a whiteboard marker. Like canvas.
As far as I can tell, is there any... Oh, there is a little pressure sensitivity. Like a tiny bit. But not much. It only makes the line like slightly thinner or thicker. Doesn't change like the opacity. So yeah, like Think about drawing with a busted pencil or slightly like chipped pencil. It's kind of how this feels. But it's great for people like us who are trying to brainstorm.
Another thing that we talked about off stream is that we're going to probably have a couple of narration text bubbles, which is nothing major. Just somewhere we're going to say Jayvn Arias, maybe the AH-15 in there, and then Shiloh, capital city of Nahara. So that, I think, and Jordan was talking about making something typographically like a lot more cool than what I would normally do. But
yeah,
generally,
I want something kind of hip hoppy.
Yeah. So the shape is not like final or anything. It's just kind of that there would be some kind of text here.
Across the entire page, basically.
I thought you wanted to do something a little different and not have it in the bubble. So I thought maybe having a splash behind him or something could be good.
You know, I know what it was. Actually, I can show what I was referring to. So I was, I'm gonna go off the screen for a second. So I was looking at this book. It's a comic by Ryan Benjamin called Brothers Bond. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of like this layout necessarily, but I kind of like how the characters, they have this big old like scroll with their name on it. I was thinking, you know, I could do something kind of like that maybe for this, something that fits the style of this. So yeah, that's kind of where this comes in. We don't know what that's going to look like just yet, but we shall see. Uh-oh, Amanda's here. What up, Amanda? Thank you for coming on this live stream. Appreciate you, homie. All right. So, still trying to figure out this doggone pose.
I like the one that I did. I like the way that I like this one though too that you did. Okay, I like them both.
Well, okay, let's break it down. The one that you did, what do you like about it? Is just the direction he's facing? Is it that he's holding the lights, the way he's got the headphones? Like, what is it?
I think what I liked about it was that there was a little bit of asymmetry in the posing. So the headphones are kind of coming off, and that can be exaggerated further. But
Okay.
and then there's a strong kind of hero angle to it because we want him to seem cool to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that upshot then. Okay. And you said you like mine for a certain reason too.
I like the pose of the arm, especially the right or left arm, whichever this one is that I'm putting.
That would be his right arm. So
okay, so that one.
That's kind of in tandem with his leg thing because he's resting it on there. So maybe we'll do. Let's see. See if we can create a combination.
I like that. Actually, yeah, I like that the head goes back to. I feel like this is when. This is the closest thing I can think of. When like there's a guy and he's like working out and then he like stands up and gets a drink of water or something and you're like, okay, it's kind of like that, which, you know, you want the character to look cool, so
naturally
that's kind of what I was envisioning. But he's taking his headphones off instead of drinking some water.
Okay, well, you know what? Why not? Here, let's see. I gotta think about this. Get that. I guess the knee would be much bigger than what I've got here. I guess in this pose, if we're seeing the front of him, we'd have to decide if he's facing uh, his dad or if he's turned away from him. I guess it could be either or technically, based on the wrap
Right.
of the pillar. So
The reason that it's important to have the previous pages up, for one, we made a couple changes that are cool to show. Two, we're looking at the continuity between the last panel of page 2 and the first panel of page 3. So this is when it's great to have alternative possible layouts. We have Jayvn takes off his headphones and turns around to see Aasim in the white robe with 2 guards. Aasim says, could have been a little more even at the top, though. Let's see. Jayvn looks to see the lights are bunched up. Aasim takes a lap, inspecting the pillar. So there are a couple things that we can rearrange in that scene. There's not really a reason why he can't take a lap first and say could have been a little more even at the top, so though. So in that case, I'm thinking like, well, this won't. I'll do this panel layout and then I'll talk about kind of the pros and cons of it.
all right, let's see.
Do we even know what the deselect?
I don't know. I've been kind
Deselect.
of I've been kind of hitting the marquee tool or like the eraser is just something different. I don't know. Like I don't think it exists, honestly. Oh, I see what you're doing.
So it's kind of like in between the last panel of page 2 and the first panel, Aasim has walked forward. Our view of the camera has also gone forward. Jayvn stayed still. A good thing is that who faces forward is kind of the trickiest question. Jayvn being our hero, we want to see a lot of him. Although it's a little odd to not show Aasim's face in both of these panels. I would say that's kind of what you would want for a character who's like a unapproachable, super cold, figure.
Well, the way I'm seeing this right now is that both of them are facing us, but like Jayvn might have his head turned a little bit, kind of like how mine is in the camera right now. So we could show both their faces. I think the seams would just be really small, and you couldn't really see any detail. So I think that could work. And this is the pillar, I assume. This right here, yeah. So I think that could work right there, actually. We just have his head turned a bit. So here, let's. Yours are just on top of mine, so I'm gonna slide it up. I'm gonna just come up here, draw his face. And we could still actually have him kneel and have his arm the way that I had it here, technically. Like, there's no reason why it can't be that either. And then I'll just draw their faces. Something like this, maybe.
I don't know if that I don't know if that has the continuity because that's probably fine. It's another 180 cut from where you'd be going from the last panel to this panel.
But this would be the
Because
start
they
of a
would
new
be
page,
flipping.
though.
Yeah, it would be. Which is why I said it was fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay.
I don't know that I like love that layout enough to say we gotta have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a couple more explorations before I decide on it. I just think that layout wise, I don't think the viewers can have a problem with it.
Okay, let's see what else we can come up with.
So this is the same potential layout here. So this is not the P1, or I'll say row 1.
Here, I'm gonna try something real quick. We probably should have done this earlier, but here, I'm gonna just do like a quick little map of what the scene could look like. So if we have, let's say, the pillar is here, P, and then I don't know, maybe there's some type of building here, Jayvn. And then say 1, 2, 3. So that's basically our map that we're looking at right now. Got Jayvn, guard, and that's it. You say now it says gag. Let's just okay. Let's just say Aasim and guard 1 and guard 2. There we go.
And then the city layout, if we keep to the payoff panel on page 2, the city buildings would probably look something like this.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's 3D modeling it, so the more we have a concrete idea, the better. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. We should have done this like a while ago, but
yeah.
It is what it is. Oh snap! We got Kathy in the house. What's up, Kathy? Thank you for coming on. My business is done. For anyone who doesn't understand, that is a Invaders in reference. Let's see. Man, this is gosh, I didn't realize how much thought each panel gets. Are there like classic panel layouts that every comic book nerd knows and recognizes? Is there? What do you think, Megan?
I would say it's equivalent to film, sort of the shots at different distances. There might be specific lighting instances that are very popular with comic artists, though a lot of that you would see similar stuff in film noir. The classic shutters making bars across the face. Then like low shot of the hero over the at the top of the city, you know, the Batman at night.
Yeah, I think there's more like categories of shots. Like you mentioned like the low angle or high angle shots. There's close-ups, there's medium, there's shots with silhouettes and different things like that. Actually, this book, Framed Ink by, I never remember the guy's name, Marcos Mateo Mestri, I think is how you say his name. He's got a bunch of really solid examples of, here, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see. He has a bunch of examples of different layouts that can be done. And thinking about things in terms of big shapes is something that's really, really key. So,
oh man, this comment, Jordan, put it down so you can get this comment.
Wait, this one?
Yeah.
Have you read Framed Ink yet? Oh my goodness, yes. What's up, Naeem? You came at the right moment. I actually have this one and its sequel book. So, so what's up, dude? Thank you for coming on. That's amazing. Let's see. That's hilarious. Okay, but actually, you know, while Megan's drawing, I'm gonna see if I can find some inspiration in this book. So y'all can focus on Megan doing her thing. Let's see if we can find some in here. And that's also where I think studying film comes from. Like a lot of the reasons I like some of the movies and shows that I do is because of cinematography. There's certain things that they do. There's certain tricks that are just phenomenal, and I get really invested in the visual storytelling even when no one's talking. I find that really, really amazing, personally. Let me think about this.
So Amanda said, I didn't realize how much thought each panel gets. Yes, I love this part, and I think this is one of the most important things that people looking to do comics want to look at, is that panel-to-panel read and pay attention. I think a lot of times they are not following what that viewer needs to continue the train. And I think, ironically, moments in script need more panels, so the script itself needs to be smart about that. Because sometimes I'll look at students' work and I'll be like, intermediate panel here, intermediate panel here, intermediate panel here. Thing starts growing, you know?
Yeah. And you know, I might have mentioned this on the stream before, but one of the reasons we have Megan on is so that she makes sure that I stay sane and so that I don't make these crazy mistakes. Because while she's more of a comic maker, I'm more of a film guy, just generally. That's how I think. That's why I wrote this in a script format, like for screenwriters. But making comics is something that's new to me, so I'm learning all this stuff alongside you guys, and so it's just going to be kind of a makeshift project all the way around. None of us really know what we're doing on every aspect, but we're just figuring it out. So that's the fun of it all. But okay, what'd you write here? R1? What is that?
I meant that for row 1 because I was seeing these 4 panels I'm doing here as sort of an alternative to the previous one, because I like it. As I was saying, the camera change is a little much, so that was a little tricky, but I do like it.
Maybe
we
just do a long profile view, like a profile shot of the whole thing. Like we just have Pillar here, Jayvn here, and then Aasim and the 2 guards. Boom. And just completely from the side like that. Maybe that'll... It's not as interesting though. It's the only issue. But it shows everything. It's a really thin pillar though. I was talking to a guy who does storyboarding at Warner Brothers, and he was telling me about a coworker of his, and he said it's so crazy, man. Storyboard artists, what they do is they sometimes just kind of sit there in the chair and go like for like 2 hours, and then they're like, okay, I got it, and they go to work at the last second. I don't know how they do that, but it's really bizarre. Amanda says, Megan is your art director. That's great. Yeah, I guess so. She is my art director.
I call myself the resident nag because I'm the one saying, where's your pages?
Yeah, that is true. She is like that. But hey, that's kind of what art directors are supposed to do. So yeah, I guess so. Natalie says, would you say having cinematography in comics be more effective to have impact? I would say so. I mean, in my imagination, it would only help if you had really strong shots, because it's about that. Art is about the quick read at the end of the day. That's part of what the thumbnail is for. Like what Megan's been saying is like, what's the best way for the audience to understand what's happening? What's the best way for us to sell the emotion of the scene or the impact? How do we get so that we understand Jayvn's perspective or a scene's perspective, whatever the case is? And all that is basically cinematography. But I don't know, Megan, do you have any other thoughts on that?
I saw a point that Amanda said Penis comics didn't have much cinematography, and it deeply impacted me as a kid. But the single panel of Goku headbutting King Piccolo is so beautiful. I would say there are a couple things to that. Different comics have different things going on. One of the things that I love so much about comics is that you really get a lot of voice. When you just have one person, you don't have a team of people being like, all right, how are we going to put this in movie theaters? When is this going to be done? When is the board going to see it? Does the marketing team like it? And so you get a lot of diversity there. Cinematography, I had a fantastic teacher, Jordan and I both did, who liked to say tools, not roles. So the more tools you have, the better. Cinematography can only help. The psychology is all the same, from illustration to cinematography. High angles, high view is power, low view is powerlessness. Generally, our shape language of tilting lines or straight lines, certain things like that. It's all the same, and it's good to know. That being said, some comics are not about that. Peanuts in particular, there's a lot of sweet character moments in Peanuts, I think. And another thing is humor typically can be more still. You don't see as many heads moving and stuff because there's more on the jokes. Humor generally, Robert McKee, who's one of the story people I like, he gives all these story details and all these rules, and he's like, and humor breaks every single one of it. I don't really one of them. I don't really get it. If it's funny, it's funny. There you go.
Yeah, I think also it depends on genre as well, like the type of story you're telling. Whether like Megan was talking about comedy, there's certain ways I personally would probably envision a sitcom, like your classic sitcom, like Friends or Seinfeld or something, versus Lord of the Rings epic fantasy series. Right? There's a difference in the way most people would probably shoot those things and frame it. If you're doing a comedy, you don't necessarily need to have these crazy epic shots with massive landscapes and stuff like that. You could probably just get away with having two people talking in a room, because the excitement of the comic or the project comes from like the jokes. And with the visual stuff, like the fantasy, it comes from like the cool things that you look at, the powers, the cool trees and stuff in the background, all that stuff. So yeah. Oh snap! What's up, Neil? Thank you for coming on. It has been a while since we've seen you, so welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. So where are we at? Yeah, I'm not sure what to do for this one. I think I'll move to the shot of Aasim taking a lap around.
Can I kind of read out what I was doing here for
Of course. Yeah,
this?
go for it.
Because we are the artists, we have a little bit of freedom to shuffle things around in the script, especially because Jordan's coming at it from a screenwriting perspective. And I can get all the things he wants across, shuffling a couple of things a little bit. So this would be the top of page 3. Bubble 2, if you see, I have the numbers here. So bubble 2 is Aasim saying could have been a little more even at the top, though. And this one doesn't have Jayvn in that panel, right? I wanted a shot where we see Aasim because he's a main character. I want to see a little bit of warmth in the face. He's a cool guy. And then I have Jayvn taking his headphones off, and he's looking up instead of at Aasim. And then everybody sees the tower and like the lights that are bad at the top. Then he kind of is looking at it, sort of maybe a reaction face. When Jordan and I were talking about the script, he was like, can we get more humor in there? And I was like, oh, we do, because there's humor, but this is such a serious one. I think the humor is going to have to come in some other ones. But I think a funny face reaction of him to his own work, like, or something that could be fun. So I did change a couple things, right? Because in the script, he takes off his headphones and turns around to see Aasim. And in this one, I had the sort of shot of him instead looking at the pillar, which Jordan, as the ultimate boss, can come back and say, no, I don't want that. You broke the rules. We could also flip these two. So we could have him take off the headphones and then this shot, and we go to the Is that a reverse of the tower? Then in panel 4 here, we have more of them taking a lap. Or inspecting or something or other, so they get a little further away. So that's sort of one possible interpretation of the page panels here.
One thing I want to focus on that you said is interpretation, because that's part of the whole point when it comes to that difference between writing and drawing, because the way I visualize it when I write this is completely different than the way Megan sees it. And that happens every single time that you're working on a project. I guess the only way to really have total complete control is if you do everything yourself. But I don't personally want to do that. It's way too much pressure for me. And I want to involve my friends in this too. So yeah, I think that interpretation is definitely a key thing to really focus on for any project that you're spending time on. Let me see. Amanda says, someone mentioned Lord of the Rings. LOL, Lord of the Rings is my Spidersman. Spidersman. I wrote it different so you don't have to drink. Oh, wait. She said Spidersman. Megan was ready for it. She was so ready.
We got the 70 ounces today.
Yeah, but you know what though? I probably should hydrate because I'm actually not feeling too well. So I'm a drink to it, Megan. You don't have to. It's up to you.
I am. We get Mark. Let's get Mark in here bringing the puns. We got a couple new people on here. Ellen is still in, and my dad. We drink when Spider-Man or Avatar: The Last Airbender is brought up. And we drink water, so we are not doing bad things. We are not getting drunk and making our drawings worse as we go. So
yeah, because we'd be dead by the end of the stream. We would be dead if it were really some unmentionables. So yeah. Thanks for the welcome, Jordan. I have a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, man, get my watch hours up. Help me out. I got like 50 streams, each 2 hours long. So go for it. Amanda says, Megan, do you prefer working digitally or do you have a soft spot for paper?
All my thumbs are paper, except for these.
Except for these.
I think better on paper when it comes to my comic thumbs. It's nice because they're all in this one sketchbook, so I can see them, but something about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd probably say the same for me. The only reason we're really doing this digitally is because we're streaming it. If it was just something that was private between the two of us, I imagine we probably just draw on paper, scan it in, and we probably have meetings about it separately, like outside of you guys being involved. So, which we might do for some pages realistically, but that's kind of how that is. Neil's asking, what program is this? Clip Studio. It's cool that you can collab on the same canvas, kind of like Google Docs. So this is not Clip Studio. This is a program called Magma. Magma as in like lava, and is a software that allows you to collaborate with several different people at once and draw. So that's, I don't know when we found out about this, but it's been out for a couple of years, and so it allows Megan and I to just draw on the same stuff, and it's pretty convenient. Although I wouldn't call this like the most professional software. I think it's great for brainstorming, but I don't know if I would spend so much time doing like the cleanest of line work on all this,
In theory, if you buy the version, we're using the free version, you could unlock more features, like maybe better resolution and brushes and stuff, but I'm cheap and I don't have money for that, so maybe it's good if you do that. I don't know.
Yeah, for now, because realistically, we're going to be doing like the real comic in Clip Studio, where that's where I'm going to do all the clean line art, and that's where we're going to put all the models and things like that. But for this thumbnail brainstorming thing, it's just simple stick figures and art that's not really all that pretty. Like, this isn't stuff that I would expect to wow so many people, but it's part of the process. Mark coming in with the puns. When you drink water, you can drink for miles. I don't know if miles is technically spelled with an I in this guy, but that's okay. I'll drink it anyway. Let's see. I want to do it. Jayvn sketch with his face. Let's see what we can do. Waiting for server response. What does that even mean? I was giving Jayvn like a deadpan expression, like, oh my gosh, really, dude. This is the exact face I make whenever someone asks me to do something that I want to do. But I don't ever show it to them. Like, especially when I was a teenager and I get a call like, Jordan, come here, I need help. I'd be like, sorry, Mom. I still do it, but you know, wasn't always the happiest camper doing it. Anyway, yeah, it's so funny how normies think there's no work involved in making a comic. I think some people think there's a make art button. I guess that's what technically there really hasn't been anything like that except for AI. That's the closest thing I can think of, and there's still many flaws with that. It's fascinating watching the process. Well, awesome. Then we'll do more of these if you guys are liking it. I think for this shot, it'd be cool to have like this top down Jayvn.
Oh, okay. See, this is what Jordan does. He did this last stream too, where I did kind of standard angle, and he put in a better angle. Of course, that's you having to draw foreshortening. So maybe when you're drawing this, you're like, man, I wish I had picked the labor angle. That's your problem.
It is my problem. I'll take it. I'll take the problem. I'm all for that epic. All for that epic stuff. I just hope there's a good reference on Pinterest.
I'm learning here too, right? I'm like, oh, this is how I can make my shots more dynamic, and I can push them further. So you always have something to learn from another artist.
Yeah, that's why we're collaborating on this. You know, like I'm sure there are certain people that are really good at doing things by themselves, but I also think it's probably more isolating and less fun to do that. Part of me personally, part of the fun of college was working with other people, even if it was our own projects, like us being able to talk about each other's work was always a lot of fun. And Megan and I, we've had this experience. How long have we been working together? Since like 2016, basically, since when we first met. Yeah, we've been working in the same studio for that period of time in RISD and in grad school. And so we're just used to it. Like we know how we work. So it's just a lot of fun. It's like college again, except we don't have to worry about grades. Just bills. I wrote it with the Y because how else would you know? No idea, man. No idea. Do you think there's a person somewhere called Kilometers? Because Miles is a weird name if you think about it. You know, I think I saw a comment earlier today that was calling him Kilometers Immorales.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy knows that. Probably because I sent it to her. I showed her. Oh, you have a baby boy? What's his name? A unit of measurement. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. A unit of measure. What other weird baby names can we think of that just shouldn't be names?
So many.
Yeah. I know there are many, but I can't think of any right now. That's a problem.
Do you remember there was a couple trying to name their baby For Real with a 4?
Oh my goodness, that sounds familiar.
And the judge had to be like, no, you can't have a 4 in your name.
Do you know what Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's child's name is? Their baby?
Something
I kid you not. This is his name. I'm going to write out his name. His name is RZA, like the rapper in the Wu-Tang Clan. Look, got a little baby boy named RZA. I'm like, okay, that is a choice. But it's kind of like, tell me your parents' are musicians without telling me they're musicians. You know what I mean? It's that's kind of how I feel about that. Do it. Hey, it's unique. No one will confuse his name ever with someone else.
I have an idea here, which is definitely something to run by you, not something I'm totally sold on. But we've been talking about how to make the panels more interesting. My panel layout, kind of like my posing, is pretty standard.
Uh-huh.
But this is hip hop inspired, and we want to play with some angles, make it a little funky. So, what if the panels, instead of being straight, were?
Hey, I like it.
Lines.
I like
the
it.
trouble with it is that it can be harder to follow, but there are ways to get around that, right? You just have it really clear that, say, this is a row, so this panel break is really big, so that the audience knows, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I think we could pull that off. Because ultimately, there's 3 of us really working on me, you, and our girl Kathy over here. So I'm pretty sure that between 3 of us, we'll be able to tell like if this is legible or not. But I do like this idea. I think it makes a lot more sense, especially with the style of like the hip hop culture. Like having things are all the way straight lines. I don't think would fit very well for this. And we'll adjust it so it's not obnoxious and people are getting headaches just from reading it, because that's not a goal either. I don't want people getting headaches from Shadow Boxers. Let me see. Neil says, I know someone whose name is ABCD. No way. What? ABCD? That? Wow. So every time they sing the alphabet, does he like turn his head like, oh, they're calling? Oh, that's not me. They're not talking about me. Is that how that? I'm sorry. That's the interesting name. That baby's gonna have so many Rizzler jokes thrown at them. I know, right? It's too easy. There's too many jokes. There's too many jokes. Yeah. You know, there are times where I read like Bible names and stuff, and there's so many in this that are used today, like that are just normal, like Daniel, David. Those are normal names, but there's some names that are so bizarre. But I want to meet a kid with that name, like Arfaxad. I would love to meet an Arfaxad one day, just because. Just like, why not? Why can't there be an Arfaxad in my college class? You know, I would just love that. Arfaxad Smith, what's up?
You know what? So my husband has worked with a lot of like phone scheduling with clients and stuff like that. So he's seen a lot of people's names, and he has seen multiple, I kid you not, Trash Undra.
Wait, multiple what? Say that again?
Multiple people named Trash Undra. Trash Undra.
That's awful. That's so awful. Oh my goodness. That's so bad. Amanda says weird baby names. Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter's name is Apple. That is unusual. Now, you know, Elon Musk kids have weird names. Elon Musk has some odd named children. My name is a biblical name. Yes, that's one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Naphtali or Naphtali. Artaxerxes Jones. You have Artaxerxes, another good name. There's also like Peleg, and yeah, there's so many fun ones. I would love to meet someone like that. I don't think anyone's bold enough to do it though, especially because I don't know if anyone. Can you imagine like a 3-year-old trying to spell their name, like Artaxerxes? Like, how do you do that? Probably be like, I don't even know what this letter is anymore. Just call me Art. Just call me Art. It's not Artaxerxes.
My cousin actually, her husband wanted to name their kid after some kind of emperor, which is an interesting prompt. So he's Darius. So it's good that he's not Xerxes, because he probably could have been, or maybe Alexander would have been. Also, you know, not so on the nose.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Man, it says, I'll be honest, I've never been able to follow panels in a comic. That is interesting. Never been able to follow panels. Is it because like the ones you read are like so bizarre reading? Like, how does that? I'm curious what comics you've read. I know a Key Money. What? That's a name? Really? Okay. All right. Noel. No, oh yeah, I've seen this one. A B C D E F G H H A K M N O P. Yeah. The original Dweezil Zappa. Wait, what? Who's this? Dweezil Zappa. Oh my goodness. These are great
No,
names.
it's a real name. I'm getting it because I am not on stream. I could Google it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love this so much.
Dweezil Zappa is an American rock guitarist and occasional actor. He is the son of musical composer and performer Frank Zappa.
Oh, that's cruel. Why do you do that to your kids? Why do you do that to your kids? Celebrities, if you guys ever watch this stream, why do y'all do that? What makes that okay? I don't understand. The second time is right. Just there's no F, just the P. So Neftali. Wait, Neftali. Frank Zappa's kid. Okay. Yeah, this is. Yeah. What other names? This is fun. This is fun for me hearing all these.
The celebrity ones are always, not always, but often a bit of a disaster, right? So Frank Zappa's kid, giving them like a stage name. So there's Northwest. He's Kanye West's kid.
Yeah, I find that one kind of funny though. Like,
It's
you
not
just
the
name her
worst.
a direction. Why not? That is Kanye West after all. Or Jay-Z and Beyonce, they named their daughter Blue. I remember at the time, I remember people going like, really? Like, Blue? Okay, all right. Blue Ivy Carter. Jayvn pulling out his phone. I don't know if I actually need a whole panel for this, but it's funny to imagine either way. Okay, where are we at this point? I'm actually lost now.
So I have a potential layout for page 3, and I can run you through it and see if you like it. We've got not hero shot, but just a establishing kind of shot of a scene. He says, dialogue bubble 2 could have been a little more even at the top. Jayvn takes his headphones off and he looks at the tower. You get a reaction shot of seeing the tower with the lights kind of gross at the top. He has a reaction face here. And at the same time, when he's kind of making that funny face, the phone beeps. We have the pretty standard, holding the phone, seeing what the message is. And then I thought a split panel with Jayvn saying, "My bad, say dad, can I just fix it up later tonight?" And it seems saying, "You got somewhere better to be," as these two panels here. Now, I kind of like that maybe these three, the reaction, like the messy tower, Jayvn's reaction, and the beep and the text to be one row so that we can have more space for the character faces. And that's like, that dialogue is going to take up a decent amount of space.
Okay.
I don't have any fast rule for this, but I just find that generally I end up needing more room for the box or the dialogue bubbles than I think I do. So I usually end up just shrinking a little bit more than my first instinct.
Okay. I think right now I'm liking this. Wait, where's my buffer? I do this. I like this section. I like your plans for this one. This one with the headphones being taken off. Part of me feels a little strange that he's taking it off after 2 sentences have been given.
Yes.
So I would probably switch the order of this, if anything. Um,
Yeah, I realized that I had that as an option and then I forgot, and then you said
oh,
it. So
okay.
yes, it could be instead of him looking back at the tower, he's looking he's kind of looking up, and then we get a reaction shot. You know, this possible other row one candidate didn't have a very good shot of Asim's face, and
Mhm.
I think that is a little preferable to get a close up of his face so we can establish his character.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah,
is
if
this
you're good, then we can. I'll just put it in here.
so? Wait, so is this supposed to be the same shot as this on this page, bottom page 2?
No, that was a potential because you had Jayvn taking his headphones off here.
Right. Okay.
That
So
was supposed to be
now,
the first.
okay. So now, then we have to figure out what's going to go on the bottom page 2. Right.
Let me put the purple ones on this. Oh, let me put at least the first 2 rows.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it. Let me see. Oh, we got more comments about names while you do that. And an Aquanisha, I think that's pretty. Aquanisha. I would have just settled on just Aqua. Personally, Aquanisha that's I think that'd be push it. Cathedra says, yeah, that's child abuse. It kind of is though. You should listen to Frank Zappa sometime, and some of his animation is way out there. I don't know anything about Frank Zappa. North's favorite band is One Direction. Why do you know that? That's such an odd fact to know. I'm sorry. I would ask the same question about anything that I don't know. Like, why do you know that? I do that all the time. There's Jer Majesty Jackson. Oh yeah, Jermaine Jackson's son. There's named Jer Majesty. Yeah, that one's odd.
God.
Yeah, actually, he has a son named Jafar who's playing Michael Jackson the biopic coming out next year, I think. So yeah, I don't know why. Actually, all of Jermaine's kids, these like 6 kids, all of them start with the letter J and have like a Jer in there most of the time. It's like a Jermaine, Jer Majesty type of stuff. It's hilarious. I don't know if I'll name my daughter Blue Ivy. I like Ivy, just not having a color next to it. I like the logic there. Just not the color. Can't have the color next to it. I love that. And of course, the infamous Blanket. Oh yeah, well, Blanket was a nickname, but that is true. I think both of his kids are named like Prince Michael though. That was. I think they're both named Prince Michael. But yeah, Blanket. I think that's more of an affectionate name. Mark says, "Yo, my power's back. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. That took an hour. That's gotta suck." Manette says, "Good night, everyone. See you next week." All right, Manette. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Amanda says, "Oh, back to the me having difficulty with reading panels. I don't know if it's my brain, but I even struggle to this day reading Calvin and Hobbes. Certain panels draw me in, and I forget that I'm supposed to read." Oh, you just like to look at the pictures. It sounds like you just like the art. I totally understand that. I get that for sure. That's how I feel about art books sometimes, except it's the opposites. Or I mean, it's not. It's quite the opposite. I just look at the pictures. I don't ever like read art books, generally speaking. I try and I have to force myself to do it because otherwise I'll never go through it. But that's where all the good information is. FYI, I don't know if North's favorite band is One Direction, but I really hope so.
I get it. Sorry, we're slow. We know that Mark is ahead of us in every way, including like temporal. So it makes sense.
Oh, now I'm looking at it. And I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah, you know what? These clever puns really work well if I am not thinking of all these things at once. Because I'm like, now I'm sitting here saying back, I'm like, dang, that takes a minute. But it's a good one. I get it now. But that would be fun if her favorite band was One Direction. I feel like I saw a picture of her at a store one time hanging out with like Harry Styles or something. Maybe I'm wrong though. Oh, by the way, I saw the MJ musical this past week. It was really, really good. I had a fun time. They played like 30 of his songs, and we were all singing to and like clapping and stuff like that. It was the best. If you guys have it coming in your town, you guys gotta go check it out. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
So this is page 3. This is pretty cool. We've made a lot of progress though. I feel like you've done so much more work today than I have. I just done like 3. I feel like I've done like 4 drawings, and I don't know if any of them really stuck. Let me see.
I mean, there are like key poses that you're figuring out and ways that you're visualizing it. I also have done, more of this, so it would be bad if I were slow.
Fair enough. For that shot of the pillar, the third one, I was thinking maybe doing something closer to like an upshot, and then mirroring that back with this Jayvn right here with the expression, like you get them looking up and then looking straight down. What do you think?
I am not sure what you're visualizing, so I would say draw and we'll see.
Oh, I did. No, I did. It's right here.
Oh, okay. Where?
Yeah, it's here where I'm circling, and then
right.
And then going down to this one. So it'd be
sure.
Yeah, something like that. So here, I'll how do I do this? I'll just copy it. I'll copy and give you access. Assign to.
Oh, that's actually good because this is a more vertical layout, right? So actually it'll fit better having a row of 3 where you get the look at the pillar, Jayvn reaction with the buzzing, and then the actual message of the text. I think I can put it in here. Not like as nicely as you have it, but I think I can get it.
I just gave you access to layer 11 with the pillar on it, so that should be good to go. And then I believe, layer 12 gonna work. Ah, doggone thing messing me up. Wait, where my drawings go? Oh, okay. I'm scared because I don't know how to fully use this thing yet, and I'm just nervous that something's gonna happen, where I'm gonna erase all this stuff. Okay, so I gave you access to this middle Jayvn looking up one, so you can grab that. My best friend's name is Kim, pretty normal, but her last name is Kelly, and her middle initial also starts with K. Very, very unfortunate initials. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Kim Kelly is kind of a cool like superstar name though. I can imagine that being like an actress, Kim Kelly. Yeah, it rolls off the tongue well. What's even funnier, she accidentally got Kim Kardashian's logo tattooed on her because she didn't do research. The K with the backward K. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Oh my goodness. Jordan, would have a character's name be an actual person's name or just be solely for a fictional character? Because some parents would name their child after a fictional character. I've debated, like, should I name my kid Jayvn? I've thought that before. Like, is that too self-indulgent? I don't know. You know what? Like, there are certain names that are just normal names. And, I was named after a sports... I was named after 3 things. I was named after 1, Michael Jordan, a sports figure. 2, the Jordan River, where Jesus was baptized. And 3, my grandfather's name was George, and he wanted my mom to name me George, but my mom thought it sounded too old. And so George and Jordan kind of have a similar, I don't want to say pronunciation, but similar sounding beginning. So that's where I got my name from. So to answer your question, I might do that. I might end up name my kids after characters, or I might name the characters after real people. Just depends. I don't know any Jayvns or Tanas, or I know one Kayla. I know two. I know two Kaylas. But yeah. Okay. And then, oh, cool. And then we'll just add this one with the text, right? So, where's that?
I can redraw it.
Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna assign this to you right now. Bam. Okay, so layer 11, that's all you.
Right.
Look at us making progress with 3 pages of comics. It's actually really cool to see things flowing. This first page is really something too, looking at it from a zoomed out perspective. That looks dope. Okay, and then what's next? We have text being read. Okay, so right now we have just completed up to here.
There's a little bit of space at the bottom. Yeah. So I think we can have
these 2 lines here.
Yes, if you look at my thumbnail, I have the 3 and 4 like box.
Okay.
Could be 1 row.
Okay. One thing I think will be good for these 2 views is to have an upshot of Aasim and a downshot of Jayvn, just for psychological reasons. You know, Aasim being an authority, even in this shot, I think would work really well. So let me see.
That's why I did the panel breakdown to leaning this way, so that Aasim's bubble or panel was kind of more of a up-facing and towering over him there. That being said, given the locations of the characters, it doesn't have to be 2 separate panels. We can say, oh, this time passed, and now Aasim's back from around the pillar, and he can still be in the same shot. So we could do one where, let's see.
Mark says Daenerys was a pretty popular name in the late 10s before people found out she was the ultimate villain in Game of Thrones. That is a cool name, though, Daenerys. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. I haven't seen it. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna draw. See. I feel like Aasim would be kind of crossing his arms. I'm just gonna draw Aasim with a thick beard line here. Gotta separate him from his son.
When you can draw your character design with just a just like a squiggle for the hair shape, I like that time. We put like a diamond head on Jayvn. We got like a beard strap for Seam.
It's that shorthand, yo. It's that shorthand. Not sure if that's the exact angle I want. Probably. Wait, is there a transform tool on here? There should be, right?
There's a transform tool, but it's the
limited.
Shift T.
Oh, it doesn't really do. I was thinking like distort. It doesn't seem like it does that. I don't think it will. That's okay. I can adjust because I can draw. Or be very lazy because I know tricks. It would be really nice if this program like got some really major upgrades though, because this could be super powerful, I think. I know that they have those samples on their website of like all the crazy artwork that people can do from it, but maybe we just haven't had the time to figure it out just yet. Jayvn's diamond head. Two versions of bubbles. Oh, let's see. So, 3 and 4. Mark says, I feel like I should gasp really loudly and scream. You haven't watched Game of Thrones, but it's fine. I haven't watched Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park or Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Jurassic Park. So, yeah. Here's the thing about Game of Thrones. I try, let's put it like this. I tried to turn the channel to Game of Thrones one time. And I saw something that made me shudder, and I was like, "Okay, I can't watch this." I was like, "This is someone gonna walk in and ask me what I'm watching, and it's not gonna be a good conversation." So I just decided, you know what, I'm okay. There's other shows I can watch. So maybe something kind of like this for the two shots if we're going with this first one that you did. Here, let me wait, what in the world just happened? It glitched on me. No. What the heck? Okay, this thing is bugging out on me. You see this line I just drew?
Yeah.
I don't know how to stop this.
Oh dear.
Okay, this is not good. I'm just going to close this tab out and take a minute to say, if you guys have not been to the Shadow Boxers website, you should go to the Shadow Boxers website. It's shadow-boxers.com, and it has all the cool stuff here, and it has our shop. We don't have any brand new stuff on there, but there's like 60 something items in the store, so there's got to be something you're probably interested in, including the shirt that Megan herself is wearing. This is the one right here. So
back up for those who
yeah.
haven't seen.
Yep, she's modeling for us right now. Yeah.
Dinosaur.
Super cool. So yeah, y'all interested? That's where to get it. All right, that was an intermission I wasn't expecting. But
don't forget to like the stream, guys. Please and thank you.
There we go. Then let's see. Here we go. All right. Oh, cool. It didn't save any of that stuff. Excellent.
So, Neftali says, time for me to go now. It's fun talking about celebrity names and senior comic brainstorming. I've been on the website. Thank you very much for showing up. We're always happy if you're entertained and you're having a good time. So, see you.
Yeah, thank you, Neftali. Appreciate you. Amanda says, I have that shirt too. Yeah, represent. Mark says, pray for me to get a job so I can get money to buy all the things in the store. Oh man, I didn't know that was a struggle for you, man. Be praying for you. Yeah, it's rough for everybody in these streets right now. Definitely. All right. So what's the second version that you did?
It's pretty simple. It's just instead of being two separate panels with the faces, there's Jayvn looking up. You can see he has the phone, so there's a continuation of the panel before it. Mm-hmm. He's like holding probably face turned this way. That would be a big phone if that were to scale.
That's an iPad. Jayvn's got an iPad.
And then Aasim in the same shot. I think it's worth doing as many iterations as you need to explore all the possibilities. And that being said, I do like the first one I did better because there's more space for the faces, there's more character acting, and there's less background.
Yeah, less background. Yeah, I like less backgrounds. That's gonna be more work for me. Basically, is what that's saying.
I think the thing is, like, you might feel like, oh, that's cheap. You're trying to get rid of backgrounds and stuff. Look at this thing on page 2. Okay, like that's enough backgrounds for plenty.
Yeah.
For most people for 10 pages. So we try to get rid of them in all the other pages as much as we can.
Okay. Then the rest of this is just dialogue stuff. I think we can save that shot for the beginning of page. I guess this will be page 4 in the comic then, because Jayvn and Aasim are still talking.
Yeah.
So we could have that here. Be more of a confrontation. Well, I guess confrontation might be too strong of a word, but yeah.
This one's good though because we're starting to see the power dynamic, for lack of a better word. So that shot of Aasim kind of having the more power really fits into this dialogue. It fits into both of them, both of the chunks, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. But
yeah, like, it's something I'm trying to do as much as possible when I'm writing this is making sure there's some sort of conflict at all points. That's one thing that I've learned from a basic writing perspective. If you're not having any sort of conflict, then it's boring, right? In real life, none of us want conflict, right? Like Megan and I are just here on the stream and we're talking, having a good time. But if you notice, even in our discussion, there has been minor conflicts, and not to say like we hate each other, but there have been times where it's like, which idea is better? What idea is gonna strengthen the idea of the story or whatever? And that's kind of how dialogue is. So that's where this situation comes in, where Jayvn says, Nah, I was just gonna hang out with Z tonight. That's all. After Aasim asks him where he's going or if he has somewhere better to be, and then Aasim says, "Jayvn, you know how I feel about you hang out with Zalaam. Your responsibilities here come first." So immediately you're just seeing, father son having this strife over whether or not he should be able to hang out with his cousin. So that's how that is. And this is something that should not provide conflict for anybody. Please remember to like the video. Mark has a great reminder. So, yes, please like the video, even if you don't like it, because it'll make me feel good about myself. So, so why not? Right. All right. So, let's see.
So even if we like the idea of the slanted panels, which I would love to explore, I don't want to thumb it out that way because it's super easy to change the lines in Clip Studio Paint. It doesn't need to be in the thumb for us to understand the concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so these right here that I'm circling in the bottom left, that's kind of what I was picturing for those two panels. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if you want to copy them or should I just let you redraw them? Either way is fine.
I'll read them.
Okay. All right. And then I guess I can get started on top of page 4. Now I was just I think your idea for that layout was fine. So let's do this. And what's really cool about us doing it this way is when it comes time to eventually make some sort of art book for this or like the behind the scenes stuff, all I have to do is just download these pages and we're good to go. It's going to be super simple.
Yeah.
Simple is nice. I like simple. I like simple. Where did I write buzz on? I don't really know what layer this is. Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. I think I need a height chart difference for father and son real quick. I don't remember how the difference is. I've been working on the Kayla turnaround. You guys can see there. Yeah, I posted in the Discord too, but that's not the reason I had that showing. Where is it? Okay, so based on what I have here, the top of Aasim's hair is about where. I'm sorry, the top of Jayvn's hair is about where Jayvn's. I'm mixing up the characters again. I'm blaming it on the fact that I'm sick. Top of Jayvn's hair is about where Aasim's eyes are, so that's what it is. Yeah.
For the shot scene that you did, it looks like his hands folded.
Yeah, I was thinking his hands were folded because like you got somewhere else to be. Like,
yeah,
you got somewhere else to be. Was that what? Yeah. So yeah. After that mess up I just did, I think I'm starting to understand how parents could like accidentally misname their child when they're upset or emotional. You ever seen that? Like, and they keep fumbling. I see it on a lot of sitcoms. Like, you know who I mean. You know what might be cool for this shot is doing a silhouette and showing more of the environment, because when Asim's talking about your responsibilities here come first, he's talking about the setting for the festival and everything and the environment around them. And I think it could be a good break from all the stuff that we've seen. I don't know. What do you think?
I like that. I think just generally we can scoot the panel break over. For psychological reasons, because we want Jayvn's panel to feel smaller and kind of a little squished by seams, and also why, for what you're saying, we can get some background, which happens to visually show Jayvn's actual responsibilities. As we know, he's setting up for this festival.
Right. So let's see. Nice background. We got the city backdrop here. The city I'm too scared to draw half the time, even though it's my creation.
We're working on models, guys, to help everybody's sanity.
Yep. Because the ideas for buildings I have are so bizarre most of the time. It just is. It just is.
For me, I was doing some landscape or building thumbnails. Nothing worth showing. And what I loved looking at the favela reference is that it often goes like it's curved, right? The buildings will be square, but sometimes they're not. But they'll go along the road and they don't have that very straight look to them. And I was like, this is like beautiful. And it's gonna kill somebody to draw.
Yeah.
But it looks so good.
It's the pain. It's the pain of it all. Yeah. And there's probably other buildings that I'm gonna want to have that I just don't want to draw on so many crazy angles. Like I'm trying, like one thing that Megan and I were trying to talk about years ago was the stage for the Festival of Lights, where a big event happens in the first episode or so. And I don't think we ever came to a consensus because there's so many ideas floating around. And Megan had great ideas like, oh, I can picture these blimps being like this, and the stage could be this size, and there could be this, that. And I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And it's funny because when you're writing this stuff and you say something like there is a festival, lots of people, vendors, and food trucks and stuff, like that might take a few seconds to write or even read, but to draw that out is a pain, right? And you have to figure out how all that visually looks, and how it's gonna be entertaining. And so it's something, guys. It's something. So be careful what you draw, or be careful what you write, is what I mean to say.
The first graphic novel project that I'm working on, I purposely picked something that was pretty adherent to the sort of standard hero's journey formula that you'll find in most screenwriting books. And I picked something that was high school setting, so that everything actually existed enough to really design anything out too hard. And that was a purposeful choice on my part to stay sane.
Let's see. Mark says, any tips on painting environments? I have a couple of courses that I'm scared to start. And then Mark also says, to you, Megan, I made a more successful paint over last week. I'll send you the picture on Discord. Thank you for the tips. So as far as tips on painting environments, first off, I think, actually, I can recommend some books for you. First of all, let's try that. All right. First off, we got Light for Visual Artists by Richard Yacht. Here, let me get a better picture. Megan's pointing at because she knows, she understands.
It's the best book of the
that, and then Color and Light by James Gurney, also classic. And you know what? There's actually one more book I could grab.
Let's see if we get the same book, because I got one.
I would be surprised. I'll be super surprised if it's the same book, honestly. Oh, I have that, but it's not the one I was talking about. I do have it in my shelf. I could have easily grabbed it. So Megan, why don't you explain that one?
This is a really epic book. Raw Rupel. I think he did work on Spider-Verse, so we'll
Yes, he did.
drink
He did
to
work on
that.
Spider-Verse.
This guy is just, I think he's the best cityscape landscape artist that I know. Although, yeah, I got it.
There you go.
And I think cities can be really hard because there's a lot of information to strip down. And so he talks a lot about how much the compositions come in before everything else.
Yeah, that book is really solid, especially if you're talking about understanding shape and value. Those are the two, because the whole book, if I'm not mistaken, is black and white. There might be like some subtle color on certain pages, but it's mostly black and white, right?
I would say it's half-half.
Half and half. Okay, so my memory is faded, but he goes through it and has a lot of really great tips for stuff like that. He talks a lot about, like I said, shape, value, composition. All that stuff is really solid, because when you think about environments, you have to consider how do you take such a complex thing, like a cityscape, and simplify it so that, one, it's not a nightmare for you, and two, it's easy for your audience to understand what you're trying to get them to see. So you have those two challenges. So yeah, anything else you want to say about that book before I? No. So the book.
No, it's a good one.
So the book I was going to share was Color and Light by Nathan Fowkes. Nathan Fowkes worked on Prince of Egypt, Road to El Dorado. I think he worked on Sinbad. It's very similar to Color and Light, where he talks about all these reflective properties of stuff and just different paintings that he's done. And a lot of it really is more instructional, because really, I think if you can understand just the simple where light comes from, how it acts on a surface, and how color is affected by that, and just a few things related to that topic in general, it'll become a lot easier. So I would say focus on the simple before going to the complex. And that is the biggest way to do it, or best way to do it. Also, there's an artist named Devin L. Kurtz who's on YouTube, and she has a video of how she did a whole cityscape using her brushes and her Photoshop brushes, and it was really, really helpful and simple. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find the video, and I'll just show y'all so you can screenshot it for yourself.
I think we also have that in the Discord.
Oh, we might. We might have that.
Which is why you should join the Discord.
Yes, there's a link in the description. There is indeed. Okay, so here is the video. It loads. Painting a city with my new free brushes is what the video is called. I guess it doesn't want to load YouTube when I'm streaming at the same time, which is fair. But you could see, like, she goes through the process of how to do this entire thing, which is really kind of what I imagine Mark is trying to accomplish. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Okay, let's go back.
I would like to say to Mark, super glad that you're keeping out the paintovers and happy to help. So yeah, anytime you want some kind of feedback, hopefully I have something useful. If you're like, that was not useful, just ignore it,
Yeah, just ignore it. That's how I am too. Whatever. Can't get everybody all the time. Yeah, Megan sent that to me. I've watched it 3 times now. Oh, okay, awesome. Glad you watched it. Chris says, I forgot that Frank Zappa also has a daughter, Moon Unit Zappa. Okay, that's a choice too. All right, let's see.
Don't do that to your kids.
No, according to Cthulhu, that's called child abuse. Name your kids something normal with maybe a hint of uniqueness, so that they can't be easily found on social media or something.
I imagine those people, like, when they go on social media or something, they've got an account named like Joe 54 whatever. They want the anonymity.
Probably. Wait, Megan, did you see what I sent you about the guy pronouncing Megan like Megan?
Wait, is that the? I didn't see that. Is that the Key and Peele skit?
No, it's not a Key and Peele skit. It's this guy on a podcast, and he's like, the name is Megan, and he's like, no, it's pronounced Megan. And he's like, how do you say vegan? And he's like, Vegan. Yes, that's vegan. So Megan is Megan. He's like super serious. I was like, oh my goodness, Megan's gonna love this one. It's fantastic.
There's a Key and Peele skit where one of the characters is named Vegan, and he's just yelling like, "Vegan, come back here, no!" And some of my coworkers thought that was hilarious, and I
think it's funny. Is that the same one as Aaron? Is that the same skit?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know that one. Yeah, I just go like, Aaron. Denice. Or no, D-Nice. That's what it is. D-Nice.
Yeah. That's a great Key and Peele skit. All right, it looks like we are ready to get to the second page of the script.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I didn't even realize that. Okay, so we do have page 2 of the script ready to go. We're gonna have to close off all of our all these layers though. Help me out. Where are we going? Is there another one that I have to turn off?
We might want to I don't know, maybe merge stuff because I was doing over your stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Let's merge things. Here, let me delete page 2. There's a layer off that you have right here. Layer 8 that you own.
Yeah.
Can you turn that on so we can merge it?
I think it's on.
No, it needs to be. Oh, is it on? Oh, okay. I guess it is. Maybe I just saw it incorrectly. All right. So merge down, and that's page 1. Okay, and then can you assign this one to me so that we could merge that to you?
I don't know if I can assign it to you because you're the admin.
Oh, okay. Then I'll assign it to myself.
Yep, there you go.
All right, epic. All right, then merge. Okay, so this is going to be page 2 and 3. Okay, and then let's copy this right here. All right. Then we got page 2 of the script. It's mostly dialogue. I won't read the whole thing. You guys can read it for yourself. By the way, there is a name in here, Kevin. You guys have heard me talk about names of Shadow Boxers, and I said I don't want to have like regular names that you hear in every day. But when you're writing, you're just trying to get something off the page. You pick the first name that comes to your mind, and the first name that came to my mind was Kevin. Kevin's name will not remain Kevin, but it's something that I had to put in here for now. But basically, the whole context is Jayvn trying to go see Zalaam, and he's like, "Hey, I've been doing chores all day," and then one of the guards actually vouches for him and says, "You know what, Aasim, give the kid a break." They have a little banter. And then Aasim's like, okay, you can go, but be back by 9. So that's basically the whole page. Let's see. Mark says, there's a page 2. Whoop. Actually, I put page 3 on here too. And then Megan reminded me, she's like, you know what, Jordan, I don't think we're going to get to page 3 of your script by the end of the day. And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably true, huh? So not only does she nag to produce more, but then she's also like, you gotta slow down. Let's slow down and get it right. But she's absolutely right, and that's why I have her around. That's why I keep you around, Megan.
I hope we can get this done in like 1.5 pages. Although the end here is a good moment for a page turn.
Yeah. We could have some dialogue coming, like, because actually, can I show both page 1 and 2 of the script? Let me move this over. Move that over slightly. So wait, what part did we end the page at? Should probably, let's just write on the layer itself that the script is on.
Yeah.
So this was, we need to write here on page 1, right? And then page 2.
No.
Where do we have page 1?
Let me write it, and then you can just merge it into the.
Okay, yeah, let's do that because I'm lost and it's my own story. And what's up, man? I appreciate you for coming on. Ian Gardner says, I do that when I write too. The names never stay the same. Yeah, you just kind of got pick stuff. Sometimes it's just letters, right? That's just how it be sometimes. Amanda says, OMG, there's a 55% chance of snow at 10 p.m. in 20 minutes. It hasn't snowed in 4 years. Dang. That's pretty cool, actually. That must feel like what it was like last year when it snowed in LA. There was snow on the Hollywood sign this time last year. But it didn't stay for very long, but it hadn't snowed since like 1976 or something crazy like that. So yeah, basically before my parents had all their baby teeth gone. Okay,
so I'm writing it on layer 8, and then you can merge it onto the script layer.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully that's all right. Hopefully it's not too messy for you guys.
Okay, and then unofficial, I'm going to get rid of these because we don't need that anymore. Yeah, and we'll see how far we get because we only got about 15 more minutes of the stream. So probably get through like half a panel or two, but that's okay. That's okay. And this is another example of why I didn't like put panels in here because I want to see how organic we can make it. So the page differences on the script doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the page break in the comic itself. As you guys noticed, like page 1 is just this first paragraph. Page 2 is the second paragraph, which is really just 2 sentences and a line of dialogue. Then page 3 is 75% of this page. And then hopefully it might be possible to end a page on, the end of the second script page here. So we shall see what happens. I do not know. But it's definitely encouraging me to shorten my writing a little bit. It definitely is. But, that's just the process, right? That's how we do things. So
you can put it on the page in the thumbnail and say, wow, I don't want to draw this, and where can I cut? You just sometimes you got to see it before you make those kinds of changes. And the further you get along in making the comics, the more you're like, okay, I can plan ahead and say this is going to take 3 pages and I can fit everything I need in there.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I did it this way too, is because I had a feeling that if I tried to lay out the panels exactly, that I would probably feel a little stifled at some point, and I'd probably be like, yeah, but I want to do this, and if I think it would be trying to bite off a bit more that I could chew, in a sense. So yeah. Mark says, how many pages is the script and how many panels will those pages produce? The second question, we don't know. How many panels will it produce? That just depends really on the way we kind of organize it. As far as how many pages is the script right now, it's just over 12 pages. It's like a paragraph over 12 pages. It started at 16 and I cut it down to 12, and then I'll probably make another cut later on. How many panels make up one comic page? Meg, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I don't have a hard rule. Anything I follow, I do what feels right. Usually, I don't go higher than, say, 9. Usually 7, and then maybe there's some reason that I'll have 9. And I've said this before. I've done comics and like read so many comics and stuff that I don't know that I explain what I'm doing the best, because a lot of it I just feel out. But generally establishing shots, more space, dialogue, less space. As you can see, over half of this is over half of this page of script is one comic page, whereas just a couple paragraph lines is one page itself too.
Okay, so let's see. Official. All right, so I need to put this here. Here, wait a second. All right, so here's how the comic is looking so far. We got 3 full pages. Let's merge that, layer down. All right, and let's lock it to protect it because I don't want to accidentally delete that. And then we got page 4 right here.
I want to add to the how many panels make up one page. Generally, like, you can put in more panels. You can always put in more panels and more text. I was talking to an editor who basically said, hey, I don't want to take a graphic novel right now, but it's pretty good. I see potential. Like, I'll talk with you about why, like, I as an editor would pick this up and things that you should do to change it. And he liked the panel density that I had. And he was like, yeah, you need to shorten this comic a lot, but that doesn't mean cram more panels into it. So whatever instinct I have about how to lay the panels out is editor approved, I guess.
And that's valuable information, though, either way. Like, and everyone's going to have their differences of opinion when it comes to things. That's what makes art so challenging in a lot of ways, is because it is naturally subjective. Like, you can't, like for example, flowers are some of the most simple yet most beautiful things on the planet, if you really think about it. Like, they're so simple, we see them pretty much every day, but no one can really replicate something like as simple or create something as beautiful as something like a flower, right? That said, though, people have different favorites. Some people are like, I hate roses. They're not my thing. My favorite is, I don't know, daffodil, lilies, whatever. That's kind of how art is. You have to be willing to recognize not everyone's going to feel what you're doing. That said, though, Ian says, you guys are amazing. Can't wait to read it when it's done. So thank you. I appreciate that. We're excited to get it into your guys' hands. Go back to the names. Come to think of it, Zendaya has a unique name. Zendaya has talked about how her name is actually kind of made up. Like, it's supposed to mean like thankful, I think. But it's not an actual word. It's like a combination of 2 or 3 words in different languages. So yeah, but she's one of those people that can just get away with having one name. I didn't even know I really didn't know she had a last name for a while. So now we're on page 4.
There's some overlap in the panels. Do you see there's things already?
Oh, I think that's on the official. There we go.
There we go.
That. All right, so page 4. Okay, so that means here there's going to be some dialogue boxes. So let me do that here. Wait, this is going to be 5 and 6. What is her last name? Johnson Wilkes something basic. I bet it's Coleman. Her last name is Coleman. Let's see. Okay, so right now I got 5 and 6 on the top panel of 4, or top panel of page 4. Yeah. Matter of fact, let's do this. Oh, did you just draw this, Megan, on the far right side? I didn't even notice.
Far right, which way is that? Yeah, that was kind of this like kind of a little bit of a frustrated hands out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely see that one. I kind of seem like, come on, Dad, you asked me. I've done everything you asked me to do. Like, I definitely see the overacting, and that's another thing in comics too that I learned is you want to be more dynamic with the poses and not have everyone be super stiff, because super stiff means non-emotional, and it's oftentimes more difficult to understand what they're communicating, visually speaking. Like, think about how a child reacts to the world. Like, when they're mad, you can tell by their body language that they're mad. Adults, when they're mad, they just kind of sit there quietly usually because they can't show that off. But when a 2-year-old is pissed off, he stomps around. He's got the pouty face. He's throwing a tantrum. And that's almost how you got to treat drawing characters here. At least that's how I view it.
My friend, one of our best friends here, has a son who's about 3. I think he just turned 4. And I remember something like, oh, hey, the adults are talking right now. Like, we're not going to play with your sharks. And the face he made was just this pure, like, pouty disappointment. It was so exaggerated. Any any kid even a little bit older would not have telegraphed so clearly. I was like, this is such a pure emotion, and you don't know how to hide it yet. It's like, just, puffy.
So cute. When I was in school,
start screaming. Then you're.
Oh yeah. At that point, yeah, no. I remember though when I was in school and I took a comics class in my freshman year, and the teacher was showing us an example of like body language, and he showed us a bunch of tennis players, and he would be like, okay, did they win the match or did they lose the match? Because it'd all be like making a crazy face like that, like they were screaming, and we would all have to guess just by their faces if they won or lost.
Oh.
And it was kind of divisive a lot of the time. Like, some people thought win, some people thought lost, and then he showed the whole pose, and then sometimes they'd be throwing the racket on the ground. It's like, oh, you lost the match. Sometimes they would be like jumping for joy and like, yeah, and they won. So what he was trying to communicate was just like, hey, having that having that pose is really essential. You don't always just want to do close-ups. Like, we all like faces, we all recognize faces, but ultimately one of the things you'll probably notice in this comic is we've done a lot of poses where you're seeing more of the body language than just the face. I don't think there's a single pose where it is only the face. In here, yeah, there's none where it's just face. So I mean, you could argue maybe this top of page 3, but even here the arms are crossed, and there's just 2 other people, so that really just going to change the way we view things.
Was that Kikuo?
Yes, that was Kikuo. Yep. All right, so Jayvn, he's got this little list. I'm trying to figure out how he should show it to him. I want it to look super foreshortened and epic, which this is starting to turn into.
Why?
Why what?
This is gonna be such a pain to draw to have like foreshortened for a list.
I don't actually mind foreshortening that much. I'm actually pretty used to it. If it's extreme, if it's extreme foreshortening, it's a problem. But like drawing an arm like this, it's not that big of a deal for me. 'Cause the way I think of foreshortening is just kind of like a coil almost. Plus, I want it to be epic. But not so epic that I'll never finish it. just underneath that. I want it to be epic enough where it'll be like a really dope comic in the animated series, and I could like be around to enjoy the fruits of my labor.
And won't die of overwork.
Yeah, I don't want to die of being overworked. I don't want that life. I really don't.
I think the top row of page 4, you can manage to fit the dialogue 7 into the top row. You don't have to decide on it. Really, just I would love it if we could. I don't know if it's possible, but if we could get all of page 2 in
one page
at the end, into page 2 of the script into page 4 of the comic. That would be great. I don't know if it can be done, but it would be great.
I think it's possible. I might have to cut down on certain parts of it and just condense. But we'll find out. We'll figure it out. But we will not figure that out today because we actually got to wrap things up. So just again to go over our work for the day. Here, I'm gonna close this out. We basically sketched out a full page of Shadow Boxers. So it's a lot less than what we did in the last stream. We did 2 pages last time, but part of that's because we didn't have like dialogue to deal with. It was mostly action shots and like very simple screen direction. So I'm pretty happy with what we came up with for this stream. And next time we're gonna jump into this brand new section of finishing up this conversation with Jayvn and his dad. That said, though, I will let you guys know I will not be here next week. I'll be traveling. I'll be catching a flight. So no stream next week. But I want to thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being a part of the chat and commenting and sharing all the crazy baby names and all that stuff. Super, super fun. And also, guys, make sure you thank Megan for popping on again, freeing up her Sunday night. I know she would usually be in the comments at this point anyway, but it's nice that she comes on the stream and hangs out and draws comics and stuff. It's super fun. So anyway, guys, hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.